Welcome to day 7 of How to Grow Your Donor Base in 20 Days with Funding for Good. My name is Mandy Pearson. I'm the owner of Funding for Good, and welcome to our front porch. This is at our home office in Hickory, North Carolina, and we hope you're all having a great day when you're checking in with us. Today we're going to talk about looking for rich people. This seems to be the misconception of many a CEO or executive director or inexperienced development director, and sometimes those people are the ones that are in the positions of helping organizations acquire new donors and build donor relations. I can't tell you the number of CEOs or executive directors I've worked for who have said to me, go out and get me the list of the top 100 richest people in our city or our county or our town, or the people who have a net worth of X number of dollars, etc. And then I want you to contact those people and get them to be donors. Well, yesterday we talked about how to identify low-hanging fruit. We talked about LIBUNs and SIBUNs and previous board members and businesses that have been engaged with your organization in the past. One of the things that we didn't say on that list was go out and find the rich people in your community, and that's who is going to give to your organization. I understand the reason the misconception exists. People that have money will give money, right? That's the misconception that most people have. But there's a couple of things that I want you to be aware of. Just because people have money doesn't mean they're going to give to your nonprofit or any other nonprofit for that matter. There are people in the world that don't contribute to charitable organizations. So that's one thing to know. The second thing to know is people really need to not only have the capacity to give, which yes, I understand that people that we consider wealthy may have the capacity to give, but they also have to have a connection with your organization. They're not just going to give to you because you are a nonprofit. There are lots and lots of organizations out there who they could choose to give to. Part of being good development staff is understanding that people need to have a connection with your organization in order to want to become engaged in whatever way that happens to be. Some people are going to want to be engaged as a volunteer. Some people are going to want to serve on your board. Some people are going to want to be on a committee. Some people are going to want to give financially, and there are those wonderful people that want to do all three. They want to share their time, their treasure, and their talents with you, and those are the people that are going to be your amazing donors. That make sure there's a connection, a real connection, not a made-up connection in your head, is the best way to get in. It's the best way to start a conversation. It's the best way to get a foot in the door for a conversation. It's the best way to get someone engaged in your organization. If someone calls me and knows I have a connection with a group, an individual, a person, a cause, and that is a passion of mine, whether I have participated in an event for them, whether I have had a personal experience that relates to what they do, whether I have in some way been involved in their organization in the past, that is much easier ask and an easier way for that person to get involved than you have money, we need money, come give to us, right? So get out of your head the concept that you just need to ask rich people. What you really need to do is to identify, as we talked about earlier in the series, who is your donor profile? What's your ideal donor profile look like? And then target those individuals. It's great, and sometimes when you're in crisis mode, it's really nice to get one of those $5,000, $10,000 checks in from an organization, whether it's a foundation or an individual in your community, to help you over that hump. But what you really want is donors who will give to you every year and will continue to help support your organization to sustain the organization. Because those $10,000, $5,000 random checks are one-time wonders. They may not come back. They may not be there for you every year. You can't rely on that. Now, I do have organizations I work with who have donors who give huge amounts every year. Those donors can be relied upon. But the ones that you have to go out and beg to give you money to help keep your doors open or to pay for something that you need right now or an emergency, those aren't necessarily the people that are going to come back to you every year because they've built this wonderful relationship with you. You want to look for the people who have the capacity to give to you now and will continue to build the relationship with you and give to you in the future. That's why I always tell people that I'm working with, you don't want to rely on grant funds. If you never had to write a grant, I would be okay with that, even though I'm a professional grant writer, and that is what I help people with a lot. If you don't have to rely on that, it's like going to the bank and taking out a loan. Why would you want to do that if you didn't have to? And it's the same with donors. You want to find the ideal donor for you, figure out where they are, build a relationship with them, cultivate them, get them to be engaged, and keep them doing those things. Yes, it's wonderful to have donors who have the capacity to give large amounts to you at one time, but I'm going to encourage you not to focus on that as your way to find new donors. They will come up. There will be those people who have that capacity to give. The other thing to keep in mind is some of the donors that you don't consider major donors right now are giving to you regularly. Do you have a list that you can pull up and say these people have given every year for 5 years? These people have given every year for 10 years. Do you have a way to recognize those folks and make them feel special? Because those will turn into your lifetime donors who can give to you in their estate plans, who can do planned giving for you. And those can be huge gifts. So I just encourage you to make sure that you know your ideal donor profile and that you're not targeting people merely because of their bank account or what you feel like their worth is, but based on their passion for your organization and what they want to do to be involved with you. Check back in with us tomorrow. Join us on YouTube and subscribe to the page to get these in your inbox. Join us on Funding for Good's Facebook page to see regular updates there, and we will see you again tomorrow for day 8.